This is the Sewing Circle podcast presented by Hanky Code. I'm Rebecca Vanderkoy, here to introduce to you up-and-coming queer artists and the powerful stories behind their work. I'm thrilled to have the immensely talented indie pop musician Lisa Heller joining us. I stumbled upon Lisa's music on Spotify in 2020, and I've loved every release since. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
We're excited to have you. So, you've been sharing your music on Spotify since 2016, I believe. How long have you been writing and making music?
I started writing music when I was 12 or 13. I think I just started high school, so probably 13, and I just really needed an outlet. I was just going through a lot of stress, as most high schoolers, I think, would be going through.
Yeah.
And I kind of like taught myself how to play piano, actually. And
Oh, cool.
I took some lessons, but I really just got back into it. Yeah, around when I was 13. This piano got passed down to my parents, and I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna teach myself how to write a song. And I just got hooked on it ever since then.
That's really cool. So, you've been writing music for a while. How would you say that your music style and writing style has kind of changed throughout the years?
Yeah, I would say that it's definitely changed quite a bit. But at first I wasn't sure if like people would connect to my new music. But I do really think that it's kind of just like a different part of me, and it's kind of just like as I develop into an actual adult and just like trying to um learn how to write like all types of different music and show all different types like sides of my personality, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I first started releasing music, I think I even had like one or two songs that were in like the EDM pop space. And that was kind of my first taste of like how to release. But that was when I was just like really first starting out. And I didn't really have more than a couple releases under my belt.
Right.
But then I really decided to like dive deep and like fully go for this whole music thing. And when I did that, I really like tried to hone in on like, okay, what art do I want to share with the world? Like, what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
And I really tapped into like some mental health stuff that I was going through, and just like some personal experiences, and like wanting to kind of get that out into the world. So I think people would say it's kind of like the sad girl pop music, and that's really where I started. And I think since then it's kind of transformed into more of like an indie pop alternative space since then.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you started writing music age 12 or 13, you said. At that
Mhm.
time, did you kind of have an idea that, like, oh, I want to do this as a career? Or kind of when did that thought start to develop, I guess?
Yeah, I think it was always in the back of my head, like, wow, it would just be so amazing to connect with people through my music. I think I was a
Yeah.
pretty shy person growing up, and I just like it was almost like a dream. It wasn't something I actually thought that I could do like for a living, or like make my whole life about music. I
Yeah.
think yeah, as I went through high school, it was kind of just an idea in the back of my head of like, oh, that would be so like crazy and wonderful to just like share my art and that be like my job. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the passion for it really grew, but I didn't really like take that leap of faith until I moved to LA right before COVID, and that's kind of when I started working on that sad girl pop music.
Yeah. So, you mentioned you've released a variety of different projects over the years, different sounds, different things. Is there any particular project that really especially stands out to you?
Yeah, I think that there's probably two. I'd
Hmm.
say that my Is Anyone Listening EP is like always, I don't know. Okay, I'm like they're all like my musical babies, so it's hard to like choose
It's hard
between
to
them.
choose. I'm sure.
But I think my very first EP was like just piano and singing, and that one was really cool and fun. And I like learned how you even release an EP and go about that. And that was really
Right.
cool. But then when I released the Is Anyone Listening EP, that was I think the first time that I really like found an audience online and like connected with people in that way. And I think that because of that, like that will always hold like such a special place in my heart. And
Yeah.
um yeah, I think that one was really special. And also this EP that is coming out in April, I'm also really excited about.
That's really exciting. So
Thank you.
you mentioned, finding your audience online. How did that kind of happen for you, I guess?
Yeah, so I like okay, I moved out to LA right before COVID, and then COVID
Hmm.
started, and I moved back to Connecticut, back in with my parents, during obviously a very crazy time. And
Yeah.
I still like wanted to do music and wanted to put it out there and just see what happens. And I was writing so much, and I remember I just had um so many songs. Like at that point, probably like 150 or something that I was just sitting on, and I was just like, okay, I like want to do something with this.
Yeah.
So I decided like I made a new TikTok account and I just started posting like one song a day, like an original.
Oh, cool.
And that's when I first started getting traction. I think it was for a like very small snippet of my song Red Flags.
Hmm.
And that ended up getting like yeah, like 250,000 views or something, which was like crazy for me because I've never had that
Yeah.
before. Um, and the song wasn't even recorded or anywhere close to being done yet, which was really funny at the
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's when I was also working on this EP that included Is Anyone Listening and Red Flags and some other songs. And a few months later, I posted Is Anyone Listening as well, and that one like really connected. I think it got I don't even know what it's at now, but it was like even double the Red Flags one. And I was like, this is crazy, just like my phone blowing up with all of these people really
Yeah.
connecting with the song and reposting it and using it in their own videos and stuff like all over the world. And I was like, this is so cool. Especially because like those songs came from such a like deep personal space, one that I don't think a lot of people love talking about.
Right.
Um, yeah, and so then like that was during 2020 and into 2021 I was like, okay, I'm gonna release this music and see what happens. And
Yeah.
that's yeah, that was my first my second technically, my first produced EP that I put out.
That's really cool.
Thank
So
you.
you mentioned, obviously, like some of these songs, especially some of those earlier ones, are definitely like really personal, kind of delve into more like vulnerable topics. Was that kind of a
Mhm.
hard thing to be able to share with the world? How did you kind of navigate that?
Yeah, I think that something that made it easier actually was that once I started like sharing this music, like people would comment that they would want stuff that they like personal experiences that they had gone through. Like, oh, can you write
Hmm.
about this topic? Or like, I'm struggling with like depression right now. Like, do you have a song about that? So it made it not quite as scary because I was like, okay, well, there's other people obviously in the world that are feeling these things too.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I can give this to that person that wanted this song. And um like most of the time it was stuff that I personally connected with as well. um
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's kind of what gave me like the first courage to do that.
No, that totally makes sense. I feel like, you have that connection with people and then also probably seeing it like resonate is so helpful and impactful to realize like, oh, this is like actually helping people in some way. So,
Yeah, definitely.
so where do you draw inspiration for your work?
Um, Honestly, like it's definitely all based. Okay, well, I've done a lot of sessions since I moved to LA with different writers and stuff, and I think everyone kind of has like a different mindset on it. And
Yeah.
some people are like, "Oh, like you have to write every single day. You have to write like multiple songs a day, whether you're inspired or not. Like you have to write. Like come up with something. If it's bad, it's bad, but at least you wrote it and you like worked on your craft." And that's like kind of I feel like one end of the spectrum. And then at the other end, I think there's some people that say like just write. Oh, sorry, my dog's barking.
It's okay.
Alex, can you help with that? Gracie.
It's all good.
Sorry. Um, she just hears our neighbors. Sorry. Um,
Happens.
but I think like at the other end of that spectrum is like people just say like only they only write when they have like a direct like inspiration, like they had an idea. And I think that I kind of fall like somewhere in the middle.
Hmm.
Like I remember sometimes like an idea would pop into my head and like that's when I feel the most excited to write. Like when I'm not even prepared at all. I'm never nowhere near any instruments and I have no way to like actually write the song at the moment. But like sometimes I'm just like driving or like one time I was driving to school, I think, and my phone was dying and I was using it for navigation and I didn't have any paper. So I literally had to like write down the lyrics I thought in my head on a coffee cup, which as
Oh
you
my
know, like it's
goodness.
really hard to like an iced coffee. It was like the condensation was like not helping me. Um, but like I think sometimes like the best songs come from when you're like not expecting to write. But also there's so many fun songs that are from like, okay, guys, we're doing a session right now and like this is what we're doing. So let's get into it. So I've done both and I like both. But I definitely prefer the like natural inspiration and that's like what I always come back to is just like
Yeah.
when that idea comes because I think that's like the most natural and it almost feels like it's coming from something bigger than yourself.
Yeah. No, that absolutely makes sense. So, kind of still talking about inspiration a little bit. What artists especially inspire you?
Yeah, I think I have such a big variety of artists that I like love so much. I grew up
Yeah.
listening to like adult contemporary artists like The Fray and The Script and like Dave Matthews and stuff. Like that's what my parents put on, so that's what I just really liked listening to. But um, as I kind of found my own music taste, I really loved like a lot of singer-songwriters and stuff like that. And some of my favorite artists are like Chelsea Cutler, Jeremy Zucker, people like that. But I also really like kind of like this new wave of pop music, whether it's like Chappell Roan or like when Billie Eilish first became a thing. I actually saw her at
Yeah.
South by Southwest when she performed to like 100 people, and I was like,
Oh, that's really
"This
cool.
is sick." um, so yeah, I think there's like I love so many different types of music, but I think my favorite are ones that, yeah, kind of dig deep and have like a really deep meaning to them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I also think it's a good thing to have, a wide range of like influences and to listen to a wide range of music. I think there's something to be said for that for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm thinking about your single from last year, I believe it was released, Crushing on Straight Girls. And
Hmm.
I'm curious, how does queerness impact your work, if at all?
Yeah. I honestly think that So yeah, I've come out. I'm bi. I honestly struggled with my sexuality for a really long time and just trying to figure it out. Being from a
Yeah.
small town in Connecticut when it's like it just didn't wasn't a very like talked about thing at all.
Yeah.
And then also going to like a small liberal arts college, like it just was not something that people would talk about. Um, but I think that honestly, like through music and writing and almost like my music journaling in a sense, like it kind of helped me understand like better that oh, like I like girls and then do I only like girls? And then I like slowly realized that I like kind of everyone and it's more of like a personal connection for me. Um and I think that yeah, I think it was a scary thing for me, but having music and being able to like tell that story through my music, when I have always kind of just been more of a shy person, kind of gave me an outlet to do that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was scary to put that song out, but I'm really happy that I did.
No, I think that it's a fantastic song, first of all. But also, I do think that, like, that story of kind of trying to figure it out and navigate, like, okay, well, like, who do I actually like? Like, what is going on? Is definitely one I think so many people can kind of relate to as well. I
Hmm.
know definitely, like, for me, it was like, same thing of like, you grow up in a small town, you don't know any other openly queer people. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? So I think there is something really powerful about music kind of putting it out there just so that, like, people end up feeling a lot less alone as they're navigating all of these things, I think.
Yeah, I think that's one reason I brought up like some of the artists I brought up that I really look up to them and like how they talk about it so openly, just like in their music. And
Yeah.
I think it's so inspiring. And I think that this culture shift, especially like with Gen Z and stuff, is just being so much more talked about and accepted. And like the whole wave on TikTok, even just the fact that you can see other people are like you um, is just like so beautiful. And I'm so happy to be alive now.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely with you on that.
Yeah.
So, changing gears a tiny bit, you've had the opportunity to tour with quite a variety of different artists. You mentioned being
Hmm.
inspired by Chelsea Cutler. You've gotten to tour with her,
Hmm.
Hippocampus, Mr. Wives, Echo Smith, really quite a variety of artists. With all this touring under your belt, what would you say that you enjoy most about performing live?
Oh my gosh. I just love it so much. Um, I think that it almost just feels like the safest space when like I'm performing for some reason. Like it just feels like everything's right in the world and that it just feels like home and that like the people watching and like us performing on stage is kind of just like a experience for like it's an experience for me as well, even though I'm giving the experience.
Yeah.
I think it's a two-way street and I don't know. I just absolutely love connecting with people from every city that I've been to, hearing their stories, just opening my mind to like different people and like their personal experiences and stuff has been so cool.
Yeah. So are there any particular songs that you really like, especially have been enjoying playing live?
Yeah. Um Actually this one so the last tour I just did was with Echo Smith, which was so much fun. And we have this new song coming out. Um am I allowed to swear on this, by the way? I don't know if I
Oh, of
want to.
course.
Okay. So because Echo Smith, the tour was like a clean tour, which means you just don't have any of the swears in it. Um,
Hmm.
and the song, it's called So Fucking What, and that was like it's not out yet. It's coming out on the EP in April. But we instead it was like So What for the tour. So that's the only way that I've performed it so far.
Yeah.
Um, but I absolutely it's just like that one we've put as like the closer, even though it's not out yet. And it's so fun, it's so upbeat, and we just have so much fun performing that one. So definitely that one. Um, Also, I always try to like, even though we've like kind of made more of an upbeat set with all this like newer music kind of leaning that way, we always try to have like a couple songs here and there that like go back to the roots of like where it started, like Red Flags or Is Anyone Listening or Cheetos and Coke. And those ones are always really special. I remember the biggest show I've ever played was a college show with Young Gravy, and there were 5,000 people there, and my
Oh,
parents even
wow.
flew out to the show. And for Cheetos and Coke, I just like looked around and everyone had their phone lights up. And it was just like
Huh.
this sea of like 5,000 people all like in the moment together. And I literally started crying on stage. I was like, this is beautiful. This is crazy, especially because the song was about like my past experience with an eating disorder. So, yeah, that was a special moment. I don't even remember your question.
No, I mean that kind of covers it because it was just like wondering about songs that you enjoy performing live. But that is really cool because I feel like it's so much about like the shows in general. I feel like are so much about just that connection. So kind of like being able to have that, especially with such a large crowd, had to have been like a really awesome experience.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like, I don't know. I just feel like we were all in it together, and I
Yeah,
think that's like it's such a crazy world right now, and like I feel like that connection is like what we need, and
yeah,
it's so
I
special.
definitely
And
agree.
yeah, and like live shows are just such a like sacred place too, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned a couple times you have this new EP coming out, which is super exciting.
Mhm.
What can you tell us about that project?
Yeah. So the EP is called Hello, My Name Is. I just got like filmed a bunch of content. I spent like weeks coming up with these like really interesting ideas for it. So that hasn't rolled out yet. But yeah, I've released a few singles on the EP, including Loser, You Like That, and People Pleaser. And we have one more single coming out that I haven't announced yet in a couple weeks. And then we have a few more songs that'll be new on the EP as well. So yeah, I'm super excited about it. I feel like this is like the first time that I really just like honed in who I am as an artist and like put it into a full project. And like kind of took both like the sad girl pop music, but like the more upbeat, like fun stuff that I've learned that I absolutely love playing on stage and kind of like meshed it together. Um, and some of the songs we've literally been playing for like 2 years at shows,
Oh,
but they
wow.
just haven't been out yet. So I'm very excited for it, and I hope everyone loves it.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that's so exciting. I definitely cannot wait to hear it. And also, thank you so much again for taking the time to join me. I really appreciate it and excited to see you live eventually. And also to hear your new EP once that's out.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I love your blog, and it's so important to have safe queer spaces. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.